hates Donald Trump, just take a look. Take a look at him. Take a look at where he comes from.
After criminal court yesterday, Donald Trump went full racist against the Hispanic judge in his case, Juan Merchan. Now, we have to be cognizant of the fact that there is a large swath of the American public that anytime you say, hey, that was racist, they go, no, you're the racist. This is just racism, okay? Sometimes it's true. Claims of racism may be exaggerated. Sometimes we may be reading things in. Trump says you have to look at where the judge comes from to understand why he's so hostile to Donald Trump. And the judge comes from the country of Colombia. Here is Donald Trump after court yesterday going fully racist.
Loathes him. Oh, I'm so surprised. And so does Merchan, loathes me. The judge hates Donald Trump. Just take a look. Take a look at him. Take a look at where he comes from.
Take a look at him and take a look at where he comes from. This is open racism and xenophobia. It will barely be reported because people are used to it or they don't want to talk about it if they are defenders of Trump. And it is true that the judge is from Bogota, as it is said in English, or Bogota, as we say in the native Spanish. In reality, he's an American. He came here at age 6, much like I came here at age 5. And in reality, I believe the judge moved to New York City. So when Trump says, look at where he came from, he can't possibly mean where he grew up because it's the same place Trump grew up. So he, of course, means look at where the judge came from. Now, Trump has done this before. You'll remember the other case where there was a Mexican-American judge and Trump talked about that as a problem. So this is just overt and total xenophobia. Whatever you believe about Trump's personal feelings about Hispanic people. Oh, but David, Trump employs Hispanic people at Mar-a-Lago, so obviously he's not xenophobic. Being willing to employ people of a certain background in subservient roles to you and your business doesn't really say anything one way or the other about your underlying beliefs. It's sort of like Trump's views on Jews. But David, Trump's, Ivanka converted to Judaism, and Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, is Jewish, and Trump's grandkids are Jewish. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't mean he has to have any kind of personal issue with them, but he can still coalesce or create a welcoming environment for or foment from a political standpoint anti-Semitism. And in many ways, Trump has absolutely done that. So just despicable stuff. It's kind of par for the course at this point. So I'd be surprised if it gets too much coverage. Trump insisting that President Joe Biden has no way of winning fair and square and says that Biden is a fascist, which seems like projection to me, given that it's not clear Trump can win fair and square. He couldn't win fair and square in 2020, at least. It remains to be seen what happens in November. And it is Trump who has the fascistic illusions and aspirations.
It's all about Biden. Can't campaign, so he's trying to injure his opponent. They're trying to hurt the opponent because they can't win it fair and square. It's lawfare. There are a lot of terms for it. It's a third world country way of campaigning. Such a disgrace. So sad to see what's happened to our country. Our country's going to hell under Biden. But look at the person. Why don't you look at the person that argued their case, almost the entire case? Look at the person. Where did he come from? Unbelievable. He came from Biden. And I don't know if it's Biden because I don't think Biden has any idea what the hell's happening. But it's from the fascists that circle in the Oval Office. They circle the resolute desk, the beautiful resolute desk.
The closest we have gotten to fascism, in recent years have been the things Trump wanted to do, and most of which he was not actually able to do. Trump then focusing his ire on Jews, which is a popular thing that Trump is doing now as well. Speaking of which, right, as we were just discussing, Trump again insisting that any Jewish person who votes Biden is mentally ill and should have their heads examined. Then he says, thanks very much, and then walks away.
And Jewish people that go for Biden and the Democrats, they should have their head examined. Thank you very much.
Mr. Trump, were you referring to Dr. Colangelo?
So as you know, if you've been watching this show, Donald Trump has insistingly been making the case that any Jewish person who votes Biden should have some kind of psych eval or mental health evaluation. Big projection, because that's what we want Trump to have, of course. He has also suggested that an old Jewish man named George Soros has actually controlled and orchestrated and contrived the prosecution of Donald Trump in 4 different venues for very different crimes. And so one way or another, it seems to always get back to these underlying beliefs of Trump. And in this particular case, it is that Jewish folks really are doing things he doesn't like. They're voting for Democrats. They are supposedly orchestrating prosecutions against Trump. A lot of focus on Jewish Americans. And then finally, Trump makes the claim after weeks of saying it's Fort Knox outside the courthouse and no one is allowed even close. Of course, the point of arguing that was Trump wants you to believe if it weren't for security restrictions outside the courthouse, there would be tens of thousands of his supporters supporting him. There, of course, is no real Fort Knox outside the courthouse, but Trump now shifting from it's Fort Knox outside the courthouse and nobody can get close to people are being mugged and killed right outside the courthouse.
People from his office all day, while people are being mugged and killed outside. Never saw anything like it in my life. Nobody has.
I would love proof that there are people being mugged and killed outside the courthouse. So I don't know about you. I'm ready for this trial to be over. And maybe, just maybe, there will be a more effective limited gag order on Trump in future criminal trials. Although, quite frankly, I don't know that he really cares. The weather is starting to warm up, which I love, but the downside of the warmer weather, as many of the guys know, is the sweating and the sticking that comes with traditional underwear. It's not pleasant. But our sponsor Sheath designs ergonomic underwear. They've solved the problem. Instead of letting everything mash together and chafe, Sheath underwear has separate compartments in the front, keeping everything separate. You stay dry and comfortable all day. Once you finally feel the air being able to flow in between everything and the unique comfort that it provides, you'll know why everybody loves Sheath. So many people were skeptical about Sheath at the beginning, myself included, only to find it is something you never knew you needed. They have a ton of different colors and styles, something for everyone. For the ladies in the audience, or if you're shopping for a wife or girlfriend, check out the line of women's underwear, which also provides superior comfort. Once and for all, put an end to the sticking and the readjusting. Experience underwear comfort like you've never felt before. Give Sheath a try. Go to sheathunderwear.com/Pacman and get 20% off with the code Pacman. The link is down below.